Hello. So, modern takes on retro consoles. You'll be aware, no doubt, of the Ataribox that has been announced, and there have been pictures floating around on tinterwebs and people speculating about what it'll do. I'm interested, but also kind of skeptical in that I'm expecting it to be an Android-based thing using pretty standard Android hardware. And basically running a load of emulators. Will it have a custom front end? Will it have a limited store where you can only buy Atari stuff? I don't know. If that's all it is, you got to ask the question, what's the point? Because you could just do all of that on a Raspberry Pi or an Android TV box. I've got an Android TV box here, a B-Link GT1 thing, and it will do almost all of that. What it won't do, and the thing that for me will be key, is Atari Jaguar emulation. If it can adequately emulate the Jaguar, I think that's cool. And if it won't, I think, what's the point? Hello Max, you're being noisy, shush. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. Dogs. I'm in the living room. Yeah. You'll all be familiar with the Nintendo, what are they calling it? NES Classic Mini? NES Mini, NES Classic, whatever. You know, the dinky little thing that costs 50 quid if you can get one at recommended retail price, which you can't. Obviously, they've stopped making them. But I've only seen one in the real world. It was at the local chav converters and it was selling for 150 quid. I thought, you're having a laugh. And my thinking again is 30 games for 50 quid for what is basically a plug and play. That's not good value. Granted, you've got the HDMI output, which is not something you get on a cheap plug and play, but really NES games, well, the NES did not have fantastic video output. And are you looking for authenticity, or are you looking for a modern remake? Yeah, modern remake. It kind of didn't make sense to me. I'm sure there are plenty of people who, for them, it ticks all the boxes or whatever. But for me, for 50 quid to play a bunch of old games that you can download the ROMs, like, if you're a bit naughty, for free, yeah. So, but I was looking around on eBay recently, as I frequently do, just looking at cheap tat, and I found this. And I thought, I'm going to have that, because 15 quid, £15, 500 NES games, it says. I'll level with you before I even plug it in. There aren't. There are, it's not like some of those compilation cartridges, shall we call them, that say thousands and thousands of games or whatever, and you get the same 20 repeated over and over. It's not that bad. There are a few repeats, but there are a lot of games. So anyway, £15 off of eBay. It said it was coming from Birmingham, so I thought, okay, that'll be here in a couple of days then. It took about 2 weeks and it came from China. So they lied, but I don't care, because it was, the postage was cheap and it got here, you know, 2 weeks. That's not appalling, especially from China. Quite pleased. So let's have a look at it. And also let's plug in the charger to this camera because it's nearly run out. Okay, then any of my neighbours who happen to be glancing my way are going to wonder what the hell I'm doing, because I'm doing this in my living room right at the front window with the curtains open and everything for extra light. Yay! So let's have a look at this thing, the Entertainment System 500 as it appears to be called. Nice of them to put the sticker on there, but it does at least tell us that it's an EU model in terms of, I imagine, the power supply or power output maybe. Hard to tell if it's PAL output because modern tellies just display everything. So, this is what we get. Let's have that out then. It is, I imagine it's the same size as the official NES Mini, but not exactly the same. I don't know how accurate the colours are. It looks fairly decent. Buttons, there's a clicky power button, reset button, not, oh, it is clicky. Obviously that doesn't open. Entertainment system. It's interesting actually, because you've got that sticker there, where if you look at the box, it appears to be printed on there, entertainment system, in the original Nintendo style text. That not so much original style text, and obviously a cheap sticker, but you know, 15 quid. I don't care. It's interesting actually, looking at the colour of that, I'm thinking, is it my eyes or is that pre-yellowed? Maybe, not sure. Don't care. 15 quid. So we have the controllers. I have had this out of the box and tested it. I've had one of the controllers plugged in. What can I tell you about the controllers? They look like NES controllers. The wire is very thin. I would have preferred a slightly thicker wire, because it's the kind of thing, if you can't choose it, it's going to destroy it. If it gets yanked a bit hard, it's going to kill it. Yeah, you will have noticed as well, the official NES Mini has, is it a USB kind of? Well, they've got a funky input on theirs. This thing is the old style 9-pin Atari thing, which, fine by me. It always worked. It was a classic input and I like it. The overlay on here, it's cheap and it's nasty, and it's 15 quid. What do you expect? The D-pad is stiff and fairly horrible. That, I hope it's going to wear in with use and maybe not break with use. It works. I have used it and it works. It's perfectly functional. It's just, it takes a little bit more pressure than you would like. Other buttons, they're fine. I've got no issue with them. And that's that. You get your power supply. That's a Euro style. What does it say? Can't read it. 100 to 240 volts, so that will work with one of these. I fortunately have several of those, because as you know, I get things from China on a fairly regular basis and they tend not to come with an English plug. You get your audio video output cable. It's one of them, and that plugs in the back here, just there. Put it in front of the camera, Steve. Yeah, and the power in is it's a USB, which is interesting. What is that? I'm just going to look at the power supply again. What voltage is it? 5.2, 6.2. And is that standard USB? Maybe. Yeah, also in the box you get your instruction manual, because you're going to need that on a complicated thing like this, and yeah, it's all in Chinese. It's nice to have it just... Oh, we have some English, that's good. I'm not going to read it, you don't need it. And you get this. This amuses me just for the picture. Yeah, and it's a game list. Can you read that? It's got English and Chinese, but it does list all of the games, and if you examine it closely you will see that it repeats some games. It's weird. It doesn't start repeating them until you get in towards the 400 games area, and then it does start repeating. But you know, even if it's only 400 games or 350 or whatever that are not repeats, that's a lot of games for 15 quid. So anyway, let's plug this thing in and point the camera at the telly, because you know me, I do this high-tech and fancy production values stuff. Blah. Bear with me. Okay, so when you turn it on, this is what you are faced with. 500 in 1, it says. You can cycle through it either by going down with the D-pad and one at a time basically, or you can go right and left with the D-pad and it goes through pages, or you can use the A and B button to go through it more quickly. It's like 40 or so at a time. So I'll go through this. You can pause it if you want to read them. I'll quickly go through and you can look and see what is on there. This will take a few minutes. Skip forward a couple of minutes if you want to see some quality gameplay with skillful playing, or not. I don't know half of these games. I just saw Cubert and I saw Paperboy, and I'm aware that I will come across those again probably about 3 times. There's Cubert again. There's Paperboy again. I don't know if I'll come across... It's like the last little bit, yeah. It repeats the last little bit or some of the games. But largely, you're getting a lot of games. I don't know... Some of these are hacks. Let's have a look. There's one on here. If I can find it. Okay. So, Mario 10. I'm pretty sure there isn't a Mario 10. So, yeah. Super Brothers Kung Fu Mari. Yeah. Alright. Okay. I mean, what? It's Mario with... Is that a flat cap or is it like a handkerchief tied in knots? I don't know. It looks like northern working class Mario. This is not normal. I mean, it's... Mario punches the head off a frog. As you do. I just don't... I mean, what the... He couldn't be more working class if he was wearing a string vest. He needs a pint of mild or something. Or brown ale, perhaps. Punch the knight in shining armour. Because that's a northern working class thing to do. Ye by gum, lad. Punch the weird coloured budgie. Yeah, okay. Well, as you can see, there are some oddities on here. But there are lots of games that you'll be familiar with. Ninja Turtles 1, 2, 3 and 4. Were there 4? Contra 1, 2, 3, 6 and 7, 8? I mean, I don't know. Some of these will be real, genuine things that you will know and love, and some will be something different. Ninja Gaiden. I thought it had an N. I thought it was Gaiden. I might be wrong. I'm not sure. Let's have a look. Looks legit. Shadow Warriors. Okay. Maybe they just... Ew. That's glitching a bit there. You see, I don't know... Hello? Get off. I can't get off the wall. Oh, I can. I'm not... You see, I didn't have a NES back in the day. When the NES was a thing in Britain, I had an Acorn Electron. And I was honestly put off when the demo game that was running was Donkey Kong. And I was thinking, why on earth? You know, ColecoVision did it 5 years earlier. And almost as well, I thought, and I couldn't see the point, and I never looked at the NES again. I just thought it's a nonsense. Why spend all that money on a console with really ridiculously expensive games when you could just have a computer where the games were much cheaper? And well, my Electron. I was perhaps slightly deluded about how good the games were, though some of them were great. A lot of them weren't. But yeah, so I didn't have a NES back in the day. That's not really working brilliantly. That was glitching. Street Fight. Okay, Street Fighter 2010. I am unaware of this game, or what it might be. But yeah, as I was saying, I didn't have a NES back in the day, so I'm not actually that familiar with what, you know, what games were on it. I'm aware that not everything is on here, which is a bit disappointing. It doesn't appear to have Marble Madness, unless they've named it something a bit wrong. Okay, this is no Street Fighter type game that I'm familiar with. No, I don't know anything about this. It actually looks kind of like Prince of Persia. Wow, what? Okay, I don't know. Let's just go up there. I ain't got a clue. Get off. I've got no idea what's going on here. Anyway. Wow. Really? Oh my. Okay, I do suck at Mortal Kombat, so this will be appalling. Oh, and it's going to be two-player up. No? Oh, bloody hell. What? Okay, that's surprising, because, I mean, they're quite big. Oh, jeez. They're quite big sprites, and it's moving quite rapidly. I have no... I mean, Street Fighter 2 was my game back in the day. I didn't do Mortal Kombat. I thought it was kind of rubbish. That's going to upset some people, isn't it? But the NES is doing this is interesting. I say NES, you know. Fake NES Mini. I'm looking for something that I know and am familiar with. Let's do it's Bubble Bobble 2. I like the original Bubble Bobble, though I suck at it. I'm not familiar with Bubble Bobble 2. Okay. Oh, that's pretty. That's really pretty. Oh, this is impressing me. Ice cream, gimme. Yeah, that's lovely. The music is maybe not quite as catchy, which might not be a bad thing, because I did used to get it stuck on the brain. Yeah, okay. Shoplifter, Twinbee. Gyros. Now I know that Gyros on the NES is not the same as Gyros in the arcades. I love it. I don't know what the control systems are going to be. I love it in the arcades or on MAME. 3 warps to Neptune. Okay. Yeah, visually slightly different, and I know it's got other weird stuff that comes up later. Give me that. Yeah. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. I've seen videos of it and thought, well, that's just wrong, because Gyros doesn't look like that. But, you know, I'm sitting here playing it, and the speed of it and everything, I like it. Oh, you're joking. Really? Okay then. I am green Oh, you get off. No. Get down. Oh, you Burke. I can't do a Hadouken. Oh, you Burke. I mean, this has got to be a hack, hasn't it? Or a homebrew of some sort, surely. Whatever it is, I just can't make him. No fireballs for me. Okay, that's what I was looking for. 192. Super Mario. Let's see. Is that how it normally starts? Not sure. Let's see. Well, I think it only has this. I think this is the only legit Mario game on here. I don't think it's got Super Mario's 2 and 3. I was kind of half expecting it to have that panda hack. I suck at Super Mario, so it doesn't bother me that there is only one, but I'm pleased that there is at least one. Oh, you bugger. Get up there, you muppet. Oh, that wasn't the right thing to do, was it? Whatever. I had a feeling that was there. Okay, let's just... Anyway, I'm not here to play it, I'm just here to show that it's on here. Right, so... what do I think of this? I mean, graphically... It's interesting to... I can't quite work out in terms of graphics quality, is this like straight up the same as you would get if you plugged a NES into a modern TV? Or is it filtered? I'm not completely sure. I don't care, really. I don't know how it would compare with the original proper official NES Mini. Really don't give a monkeys. It works, it's viewable, the games are mostly playable. There was one that appeared to be glitching. I don't expect them all to be perfect, but you know what? So what? The D-pad is going to take some getting used to. It's not great. The cables, wires are a bit thin, but they are a reasonable length. It's probably 1.5 meters. Not, you know, you're not going to be sitting across the room, but you're not got one of those 2 feet long wires where you've got your eyes right in front of the telly because you can't, you know, it's a reasonable length. I think for £15 it's great. You know, I never saw the sense in spending 50 quid for what is basically a glorified plug and play, but for 15 quid with this many games, I think this thing's great. That's about all I've got to say, really. Yeah, thank you for watching.
Yes, Your Majesty, it would be... What the bloody hell? Okay, which smart-ass rigged the subscribe button to the teleporter?